What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we will be tuning and dialing in the brand new CT26 we have installed in my MK3 Supra. If you know anything about the CT26, it is the stock turbo that comes in the 7M MK3 Supra. However, ours has had a little bit of work done. And by a little, I mean a lot. It has gone from a 46mm compressor wheel inducer to a 60mm, basically a 60-1 with a high flow turbine wheel. Should be capable of about 550-ish, maybe more horsepower. We don't actually know yet. I think the ultimate limiting factor on this is going to be the fact that I am still on the stock heads, stock cams, factory exhaust manifold. Today, here in this video, we will be dialing in the tune. I will be getting the car up and running again, running well on this new turbo, kind of really getting a feel for it. We will be running mostly pump gas here because I don't have a flex fuel sensor or anything like that installed yet. However, the fuel system is there for it. It's capable. I just need to get a flex fuel sensor and wire it in, which will probably be in an upcoming video for y'all. So stay tuned. If you aren't already, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. If you appreciate this type of content and love your MK3 Supra as much as I do, go ahead and smash that like button for me. But for starters today, we got to do a couple little things. And primarily, I have to finish tying in the exhaust because when I put the new turbo in, I replaced the downpipe with kind of a more robust unit, let's say. I don't want to say it's a certain name brand or anything like that because I don't think it is name brand. I think it's just a modified unit that's meant to fit. However, I needed a test pipe because my old downpipe had a test pipe welded into it and it wasn't optimal. So what I did was I went around, did a little bit of research, looked at some photos, and I found that basically the test pipes available for the car are basically either 11.5 or 12.5 inches. And now you can order them online. However, I mean, that's kind of what I did, but it's not for a MK3 Supra. You can find 3-inch, 12-inch long test pipes for other vehicles. So this is basically listed as a G35 test pipe. So we're gonna cross our fingers that this actually fits in the car and chuck it in there and see what happens. But I'm pretty sure it'll work. It was like 40, 50 bucks or something like that off eBay. So if it doesn't work, no big deal. If it needs to be chopped and modified, again, no big deal. I only spent 50 bucks on it. It comes with both flanges, comes with the gaskets for either side and the bolts, which pretty freaking neat if you ask me. So yeah, let's go ahead and chuck this under the car. I'm gonna push the car back a little bit and see what happens. Okay, so I got the exhaust pipe up under the car. It's not 100% perfect fit, but you know what? It'll work for right now. If you wanna do this yourself, do I recommend doing this? If you're okay with the potential of the rest of your exhaust not fitting perfectly, then yeah, go ahead, because you might end up rubbing somewhere along the lines, or you may have to shift a bracket somewhere, somehow with some heat, which is probably what I'm gonna personally do here. Come up under here. Here's a new test pipe. It is bolted in, it is 100%. It's bolted into the transmission mount up there. I could probably loosen that up, shift it, shimmy it a little bit more. And also I got V-bands right there and at the very back of the car. It is rubbing a little bit on the very back exhaust mount where it connects, like literally the last one at the back of the car. So what I'll probably end up doing is probably apply some heat to the exhaust hanger and bend it just a little bit. Preferably what I would suggest doing is probably notching this hole and this hole, and just so you can rotate it one way or the other if you need to, because ultimately these flanges will have to be offset ever so slightly to give you that perfect fit, because I had to actually twist the exhaust to get that to fit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now it's just a matter of starting the car and getting the tune dialed in. Today I've got the car kind of up and running. I had to do a little bit of diagnosis. Trying to find out when I put the CAS into the car, it wasn't exactly lined up 100%. I think it was advanced by probably 30 degrees or so. Basically, I had to line up this cam angle sensor with the cover off of it, and that really helped me with getting it straightened up and where it needs to go. But now that is all taken care of. Today, we've pretty much got the car set up and ready to go. If you notice, I do have my cover off on the front of the motor. And the reason for that is not because it broke, which you probably might think, but I'm actually going to 3D scan this thing. I fully anticipate one day that this thing might actually break on me, and then I'll be up the creek without a paddle, and I don't think these are available anymore, which is very unfortunate. As long as I get a 3D scan of one that is perfectly intact, I'll be able to remake one later on down the road, which is going to be awesome. I really wanted to go through a couple heat cycles first before I get into any kind of heavy boost, maybe a little bit here and there. but I really want it to go through a couple heat cycles, make sure everything's settled in and seated as it should. I fully anticipate the clutch, however, in the car is probably stock, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna start slipping here once we really start into making a lot of torque and a lot of power. So with that said, I got my laptop in the car. We'll hook up the ECU master program, software, all that fun stuff. And we're just gonna go on a cruise, see how it runs. All right, let's see how she works. I did have it running a little bit beforehand because I was testing out a few things. I had a little bit of a misfire because it was dumping fuel in, because it was so cold. The car hasn't ever been tuned in this weather. All right, we gotta get the log set up here, which we do. I'm gonna stop that. We're gonna clear it. Yes, and play. All right, let's go. Let's see here. That's about 10 PSI, starting to feel pretty good. So I got the air fuels dialed in. That was probably about 7-ish PSI, 6 PSI. It's rolling in pretty good. The power band has definitely shifted to be higher up in the RPM, which is ultimately what we want. That's how you're gonna make more power. I think I definitely need to add a little bit more timing and probably dial back my knock sensor. I'll have to check the logs here when we get back. So far, seems like everything's all right. We're definitely maintaining good oil pressure. Okay, so we got the data logs up from the ECU of what we just did. I did a few little, very light pulls. What I have here, and it's funny because we upgraded to a larger turbo, which is a larger compressor wheel, which means the turbo will spool up a little slower. It won't quite have the same punch at lower RPMs that it did previously. And you can see that right here in the map, because once we're at about 23, 24 PSIA, which is about 10 PSI of boost, we're pegging 10.0 air fuel. So what the car is expecting to see is optimum efficiency peak torque, probably right in this area. And it's obviously not, because this turbo is just gonna keep climbing. So we definitely have to lean it out here a little bit. And honestly, I would probably go as far as leaning out my AFR target since we have a bigger turbo. Well, you know what? I'll probably leave it right where it is. That's pretty good. 10 PSI of boost, 11.8. It's flowing pretty good. We got a little bit more power that we're making, but at the same time, it's flooding the cylinders because it's expecting to make the old turbo was probably peak efficiency right around 3,000 RPM. So it was really low where the old turbo hit peak efficiency. This one here, however, is just gonna keep climbing if we really let it. So what I'm gonna do here is basically from about 24 to 20 PSI atmosphere, I'm going to lean out probably about 3 punches or so. So if I just go over to here and we've got, oh, I already did it. So 24 from about 3,000 RPM, 3,300. You see right here, this is where I really start loading fuel into it. We're at about 118 here. It goes from 115 to about 118, 120 pretty quick. So I'm going to back that off. I already backed it off a little bit, but I think I'm going to back it off maybe a little bit more. I don't want to really push the car on pump gas, if I'm being honest. So don't expect the car to make like 500 horsepower in this video today. I'm not going to do it. It might get to open waste state by the end of this video. That's kind of the goal. That's kind of where we're at. But I'm not going to be putting all the power through this car, at least not on pump gas. If I really want to push the car, if I really want to make the power, it's going to be switching over to E85. All right, guys, really important thing here before you go ahead and do anything. And honestly, this should be the first thing you do before you start tuning any car. But since we had the cam angle sensor off of the vehicle, I'm going to go ahead and check my ignition timing. Now, if you aren't familiar with how to do this, you're supposed to lock the ignition timing on the computer or however you lock it out so it doesn't try to make adjustments with the ignition timing when you're trying to check it. So theoretically, the ignition timing on a 7M should be about 12 degrees advanced. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my timing light right here. Gonna turn it on to check the RPM, and we're gonna put it on the crank. And, well, my fan just came on. I'm not sure if you guys can really tell or not, but my timing's set right about a little after 10 degrees, 11 degrees. Again, I'm trying to be really conservative with the car. Hopefully you guys can hear me over the fans, they're kind of loud. We're gonna go for a quick drive this afternoon. I did dump in a little bit of fuel on the top end and pull out some in the mid-range, as you saw previously. And I even washed the car. Look how spotless this is now. I actually went ahead and buffed it a little bit better because I didn't do it on camera. I didn't even make a video about it. But I did go through and wet sand this entire car. And if you've seen a couple of my thumbnails and looked closely, you probably noticed a lot of swirl marks, really bad swirl marks. And to be honest, it drove me kind of nuts. I decided not to use a lot of different thumbnails that I had taken for this car because of all the swirl marks that you could see in the paint when the light hits it. So I'm gonna do a little bit more driving in here for you guys and see how it all turns out. Hopefully this is good. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, that feels way better. Holy cow. Just gotta adjust the cam angle sensor, set base timing, and fix a boost leak. Okay, we got some data going. Hopefully my laptop stays open for this. Yeah, we're scooting, boys. That felt good. Way better. Oh yeah, we're good. She is dialed. Fueling looks like it hovered right around 11.5 to 1, which is right where we want it. I am very happy with this right now. It feels so good. Light throttle conditions are, we're 2,500. We give it probably about 50% throttle. You can just hear the turbo spool up. A little bit of flutter. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can really hear that, but it sounds wonderful. All right, we got a good pull in. Wow. That was actually some really good power. Oh, you guys, this thing's awesome right now. That's all I want. I just want this car to be fun. And hopefully my computer doesn't die. Yes, sir. God, this car is gonna be so much fun. I love the direction that I'm going with this thing. It's not gonna be crazy fast. This isn't some 1,000+ horsepower build. It's gonna be something that me and the family can enjoy. Yes, sir. There's my little dude. He loves it. He loves this so much. That block right there should be making about 1,000 horsepower by this time next year. Hopefully by the end of this year. So new day. We got fresh tune in the car. I made some slight adjustments to the fuel map and ignition tables based on what I'd seen yesterday. Yeah, we're still warming up. Coolant temp's only about 100 degrees, but that's good enough to get going. Let's get this thing on the way. Hold first to reverse. And we are out of here. All right, let's see what's good. She's running so good, you guys. I am so happy with this thing right now. My goodness. So if you look here, 28 and 4200 at probably about 15 pounds of boost, let's say 30 psi atmosphere, we are sitting right around 11.5, 11.7, 11.8 air fuels, which is pretty much spot on perfect. Knock sensor value doesn't seem to be pegging anywhere. I mean, it gets a little high right here, but I don't think we're in anywhere near the territory of knocking with this current setup. So base timing is currently set at 10 degrees, which is factory. And then my timing map is very conservative, I would say. It's nothing crazy at all. As a matter of fact, here it is. If you guys want to take a quick look at it, do with it what you want. It's nothing crazy. I'm not hiding anything here. Very, very simple. I did pull a little bit of timing out through the mid-range because this turbo comes on very quick. So I'm trying to reduce the amount of torque we're building and cylinder pressure we're building in mid-range. Other than that, it's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and clear this log because we already have it saved. And let's get going. Let's see here. Yeah, she's judged. Car is like this close to hazing the tires right there. Let's see here. Yeah, pretty much I just got a little bit more tuning to do. It is running phenomenally right now. I'm super happy with it. Literally on the verge of just kind of hazing the tires in second gear. And it's only at 15 PSI, which is wastegate pressure. Probably more than likely going to be turning up the boost here in the near future. Can't say how much farther I'll go on pump gas, as again, I've said it time and time again in this video. I don't want to push the car on pump gas. I just don't think it's worth it. Once I switch it over to ethanol, I'll probably run in 20 plus PSI of boost, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. In all honesty, I kind of hope this changes the way a lot of people look at these motors and the factory turbo, in that you can do a lot with just a simple setup such as what I have. Again, this is just a factory CT26 with the internals upgraded. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing fancy. I didn't go with the forward-facing manifold or an upgraded exhaust manifold. We simply gave it fuel, changed out the intercooler piping, and upgraded the turbo and the computer. I think it'll make a very happy 500 horsepower. This turbo with that much power will probably make a lot of torque because it is a smaller size turbo. It'll spool up quicker. It'll have excellent mid-range power all the way through the top end. And if I wanted to upgrade the motor, let's say get bigger cams in it or something like that, I'll have that option for later on. And this turbo hopefully should be able to make the power with that. All the way up to about 600 horsepower is what I would personally assume. In the meantime, hope you all enjoyed this one. Take care. We'll see y'all later.